Hey friend, today we are going to talk about the books that I read in August. I cannot believe that it is September already. Can you? This year has just flown by like crazy. So I assume it's going to be the new year and we're just going to be like, where did the year go? It just was a blur. The last 2 years have been a blur. But anyways, so now I'm just going to go over kind of which books I read in August and let you know which ones I recommend and which ones I don't. And I hope that you enjoy this. And if you do, be sure to give me a like and subscribe so that you see future videos like this. I also do author interviews and chats and tips about writing and publishing as well. Okay, the first book that I read in August is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. And I really wanted to enjoy this book a lot, you guys, because I absolutely love her book, The Nightingale. And I mean, like, you guys can probably even see, I keep all my favorite books right up there. And there's The Nightingale right there. So I really enjoyed The Nightingale. And I've recommended The Nightingale to many people. But this one, The Four Winds, I really struggled with it because, for one, it's just very dark. And I know the Depression was dark and everything. And my grandma told me stories about it because she actually was a teenager and a young adult during the Great Depression. And so, I mean, I know someone that lived through it and stuff. But in this book, I just felt like the characters were very just kind of blah, and there was just a lot of repetition, repeating the same words over and over again. So when it comes to The Four Winds, would I recommend it or not? I would say pass. If you want to read a Kristen Hanna book, read The Nightingale. I totally enjoyed that book, but The Four Winds, I don't know. It's kind of a pass for me because, like, if I could go back and be like, am I going to buy this book or rent it or get it from the library? I honestly, it's a waste of time. It's so drab and so blah. I just would just pass on it. I don't like saying that because I love her as a writer and I love that The Nightingale, but The Four Winds was so difficult for me to get through. So difficult. Okay. Number 2, I also read a book called A Woman of No Importance, and this book was really interesting. It's about an American spy who helped to win World War II. And I love my history books. If you've watched any of the other these videos of mine, you've probably heard me talk about other nonfiction books as well, such as like The Hiding Place or Anne Frank's Diaries or even others. But this book was really good. It was really packed full of information. I listened to it on audiobook and I really enjoyed that and everything. I thought it was really cool that this woman, this spy, American spy, she actually was handicapped. Like she had been in an accident as a young lady and her foot was shot and she shot her foot on accident. And I just thought it was very interesting that she was one of the best spies that America had, and she was handicapped. I just love that. I just love that triumphant story there. I just love that. So I would recommend listening to this one if you are interested in like World War II and history and spies and everything. It's really interesting. So I would recommend that one. The third book I read in August is Broken Wings, and it's the second in a trilogy by Shannon Ditmore. It's kind of like got like angels and demons, good versus bad, and it's really cool. I really enjoyed seeing like the angels and kind of like getting a view into that realm a little bit. It was kind of fun. So this was a really good book too. And so it was called Broken Wings. That was number 3 in August. Number 4 is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I love Brandon Sanderson, you guys, but this book, oh my gosh, like just blew me out of the water. Like I enjoyed it so much. It was so different from anything I've ever read, and I love the characters. Can I just say Mbot? If you've read it, you'll know what I'm saying. He's so funny. If you haven't, you need to read it just for Mbot. But yeah, such a good book. I give that a 5/5. Recommend, totally would recommend. I might read it again someday in the future. It's such a good book. So I definitely recommend that one. Number 5 for this month was this one right here. It's called Cold Tangerines, and it was so good. One time a few years ago, I was talking to this girl, and she was in this book club that I was part of, and she was telling me that she loved this book. We read another book by Shauna Niequist, and she was talking about how much she loved this book and how it was like a big sister talking to her. Well, a lot of us are oldest siblings, so we don't have a big sister to talk us through things in life. So at this point, this month, I was like, kind of feeling blah and icky about all the things happening in our world today and kind of feeling a little depressed. So I was like, I need something cheerful. And I opened this book up, and just the first sentence got me. It's just like, this book is a shameless appeal for celebration. I know that the world is several versions of mad right now. I know that pessimism and grimness sometimes seem like the only responsible choices. I wake up at night and think about pesticides and internal politics and fundamentalism and disease and roadside bombs and the fact that one day my parents will die. I had a hard year this year, and the hardest I've known. I worry about the world we're creating for my baby boy. I get the pessimism and the grimness. That's why I'm making a shameless appeal for celebration. Who doesn't need more celebration, right? And I just love. I'm just going to read this one other tiny little snippet here that I absolutely love. It's at the end of the first chapter where she's like, you are more than dust and bones. You are spirit and power and image of God, and you have been given today. And this book just like pulled me out of that. So if you need a really happy-go-lucky, inspiring read that is like a big sister kind of like walking you through life and trying to encourage you in this hard time that we're living in and just encouraging it, this book is one I would recommend, you guys. It's a 5.5. I would read it again. I used to not be really big into dog tagging pages, but as you can see, I've dog tagged a bunch of pages here. Like, I normally don't do that. But this book, so good. Cold Tangerines by Shauna Niequist. And if you've read any of her other books are all delightful as well. All 5.5s. So this was a good one. And the next one that I read in August was this one right here. And this is one I actually started quite a while back. And I always like to read books on writing because I feel like you can learn so much and everything. So this was like a college book. Not one that I did, but I was a part of this writing group a few years ago in 2019. And we picked this book up and we're like, well, we'll read through it and we'll kind of talk about some of the things that are in it. And so I got this book and it's so good. There's so much information here and examples as well. And one thing I really love about this book is that it actually has like little exercises inside of it. So here, let me like find one. It's like every few pages they have one. And they also have pictures. Like they have like these pictures right here. And then for the pictures, it says here, write a few sentences that might be coming out of the mouth of each of these three characters. So it's kind of cool for like an exercise before you kind of jump into writing. Some of the other, another one I'll read. You try this. Stuck up, snobbish, arrogant, haughty. Pick 3 of these words and produce an image in words of a person who fits each of them. To what extent does the picture dictate the arrangement of words? So I really love this, but I didn't actually get a chance to do all of the exercises. But I was thinking it would be really good to just use them as prompts before you start writing. So what I'm going to actually be doing is I'm going to be taking each exercise, and every day before I start writing, I'm just going to start by doing one as a writing prompt, and it'll get me thinking, plus maybe it'll give me more story ideas, right? Who doesn't need more story ideas? So this one was really good. I would recommend it. Janet Burroway is the author, and she is amazing. I know that one of my college books from when I was at college, I have one of the books from her as well. So that's another writing book I have to go back over. But this was good. I would recommend it. So, so those are my books that I read in August. That is a total of 6 books. So I read 6 books in August, you guys. Yay! Hey, this is just Future Devin editing my little video, and I just realized I never shared which ones were my top faves. So my top faves are definitely Skyward. That's one I definitely loved a lot, a lot. And then Cold Tangerines was a very nice blessing, a little surprise. I really enjoyed it, and I would have to say that those are my two faves. Just had to share which ones were my favorites. Let's see if I can read more than 6th in September, right? So be sure to drop in the comments below if you've read any of these books, if you like them or not. And also, if you read some books in August that you really loved or recommend, be sure to leave them in the comments. I'm always looking for more books because, look, I clearly have nothing to read. No, I love reading so much. So I love getting more recommendations from other writers and other readers. So be sure to leave me some recommendations and I'll check it out. But yeah, if you like this video, be sure to click like and subscribe and turn on the bell so that you get notifications for future videos. I so look forward to seeing you guys next time,